tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Weaver. I am on the Don't Unfriend Me show, otherwise known as The Dumb Show, with host Matt Spear. You guys can find the show at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Happy Tuesday. Sorry about Monday. Olivia she's like, I just don't want to be on the show. I was like, all right, fine. You want to play that game? People are relying on you. And she goes, I really don't care. And I said, okay, fine, whatever. And here she is.
I was so sick on the couch with Hayden.
Whiner.
He got the flu.
Such a whiner baby.
I know.
Ladies and
Whiner
gentlemen,
baby.
my wife, Olivia Spear. I am Irish and I have a song to do. We gotta find words to this. I just gotta sing a little medley to that intro. Amy Robinson is here. She is on my left, according to you. Amy, welcome to the show.
And you're like, holy cannoli, oh mother of God.
And you're like, holy cannoli, oh mother of God.
Holy cannoli, mother of pearl. Amy Robinson. That's going to be with her forever.
Yeah.
And have a nice hat. Leroy Jenkins, everybody. I realize everyone has a cool intro except for myself, but I guess you just can't be cooler than cool. Matthew Spear, host of the Don't Unfriend Me show. Welcome. If you haven't had a chance,
school, brother.
That's too cool for school. That's right. If you haven't had a chance, today there was two. One's a very short video in regards to the strike in the Writers Guild. We'll talk about that tonight. And then the next one is about how math is racist.
I saw that.
Holy crap.
I haven't seen
It's
it.
7 minutes and it's worth it. And in fact, we are going to watch it because I think it's worth it to watch it. We're gonna find out if it's worth it to watch it because everyone might just leave and quit the show. If you have not had a chance, call into the show by dialing 804-504-1955. You will not be on video. I won't have your number. And you can call and say hello and we can have a conversation. There are a few rules. Just be prepared. Mute the show. Wait for us to call on you. And just don't sit there and be like, well, I just want to come on and hang out. No, we're not hanging out. So we're here to we're here to converse. So if you would like to talk about current events or anything else, sorry, I had my shake. I've got the hiccups again. It's the one thing. It's the greatest shake in the world. Olivia hates it. I love it, but I get hiccups.
So
All
gross.
right. All right.
Good Lord.
Good Lord, Liv. Seriously, it's just a shake. It's not like what was going on under the covers for the last 2 nights. So,
Was that a protein shake too?
Yeah, different kind.
yeah, like, when you read Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham and you're like, that doesn't sound palatable. And you're sure it doesn't smell palatable either. Very similar to that situation. And I can't listen, this was a horrible flu and the entire family got it. But what I was worried about is I felt like it was literally like zombie plague. And if I inhaled, I was going to get sick. So I'm sitting there.
I'm with you. I am with you. Can I just say,
Yeah.
every time there's even the whiff that I might be getting sick, my wife
Yeah.
is the first one to immediately banish me to the spare bedroom,
Yeah.
pull
Yeah.
all of the covers
Yeah.
over, Lysol the hell out of everything, right? And I
Yep.
feel like, if she could get away with it, she would slide dinner under the door you know,
Right. Yeah, and then when you're
and
out of
leave me at-
water, you gotta go swing
Right.
low, sweet chair.
I'm not that way at all.
she'd leave me a bucket in the bedroom, and I would be
Yeah.
it for
No,
5 days.
Jason's that way. Even if I
Really?
sneeze in the car, he'll put the windows down, and I'm like,
Is he a germaphobe?
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. A little
See,
bit. Yeah.
Olivia, I can't sleep without her. So I'm kind of like, noxious gas or sleep with Olivia. And sleeping. Is this topic not good for you? Oh, I'm sorry. Should we not? I just looked over and she's like looking at me like with death rays. And I'm like, maybe we should shift. Oh, she's looking. Excuse me.
Is that what you want to hear?
Not for a while, to be honest with you. Yeah, don't back up with guns hot. That's what I'm saying. I'm just keep those things away from me. Well, see, because that's like one of the best movies ever. What movie is that?
The one where they
The
trade
Change
places.
Yeah, the Change Up. Yeah, and she goes to the restaurant and he's supposed to have
Thai food or
nookie
whatever
night.
it was.
Right, and she eats Thai food and she's just like blasting in the toilet and with the door open and he's just like, oh my God. And so she comes up and like they both get into bed and she backs up with her butt towards him and he's like, don't back that shit up, guns hot. He's like, get that thing away from me. Like, go get your derriere freaking wash at the car wash. Get out of here. Anyway, but Olivia, I can't sleep without her. So, and I love her. I love you, baby. So it's okay.
I love you too, dear.
You got to push the button, baby, when you talk because people don't know. They're like, there's the voice. Who's the voice? It's not Amy. Maybe it's Leroy.
It's me, Margaret.
No, people are just
I'm
hearing
just throwing
voices.
my voice.
Hi, Jesus. It's me, Margaret. I can't wait for Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3. Hugh Jackman's going to be Wolverine. And
When's it coming out?
I don't know. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are like best friends in real life. And they have a huge, there's a history there, right? So there's a bunch of history there. So the original X-Men series, which was garbage, had Wolverine in it, but it had Deadpool in it in the Wolverine movie. And it was a horrible rendition and Ryan Reynolds did it. And it was just pathetic. I mean, the worst Deadpool you've ever seen, and I hated it. So there's always nuance between the two of them. But anyway, they get to star in a movie, and I can't wait. I mean, literally, you have 2 mutant factors where you can cut off limbs and they'll regenerate. This is going to be an endless battle. I'm excited about it. I'm very motivated. Yes.
You saw the extra credit scene from the last Deadpool movie, right? I mean,
Oh yeah,
Ryan
where he
Reynolds
went back and
apparently
killed him.
he goes back in time to correct that little.
Right. Well, a lot of people don't know what it is. They watch that and they go, oh, that's cool. But they don't know the entomology of, I'm a nerd. So, Anyway, call into the show if you want to talk about Deadpool or superhero.
804-504-1955. Please call in. You or any of your leftist friends. We'd love to hear from you.
I could talk about movies and
Oh yeah, we can't do
comic
that. We
books all
can't.
day.
We could. I mean, because we had a podcast for it, and
Yep.
I'm as good as I am with politics and geopolitical and military. Really, my first forte is nerddom, and then probably hockey, and then third is this. So anyway, Olivia and I were talking. She's like, "Why don't you do a hockey podcast, but do what John Boy does with baseball, where he'll literally call the play and read the lips? Because I can read lips like a champ."
yes.
And she's like, you should do it. And I'm like, no. First of all, hockey's only 6 months out of the year. So what do you do for the other 6 months? Fill it in with what? Women's hockey? Pfft, please.
No.
Nobody's going to watch that.
You have 82 games and 32 teams. So how many games is that? You could have enough games and enough shit happens during those games where it could fill that 6 months.
I don't know. I've got too much to do with this. I mean, this has to fall flat on its face. And it's not. And it's continued growing. I don't know if you guys saw this. But do I have it? Hold on. Do I have it? Yeah, I think I do have it. I don't know. I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I didn't sound like that. I didn't sound like a Minnesotan.
You had
No,
that
I
whole
didn't.
accent
No,
come
I
out.
didn't. You just threw that in there. I didn't sound like that at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Here it is. Look at this, folks. Look at these numbers.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Oh wow!
I'm just saying. That's freaking huge. 2.3 million reached in the last 28 days, 381,000 engagements, 6.6 thousand
legit.
followers, and 3-second views. Over 250,000 3-second views. That's ridiculous. Right.
That's legit. Yeah.
So we're getting up there.
And how long have I been on the show? Just joking.
I don't know. Your numbers
I don't know
suck
if they
tonight,
did.
so maybe
I think
maybe you should.
it probably is split between Amy and Matt, with people just dialing in just to meet gays, because it's certainly not me. But
Did you just say I was gay?
no, meet gays, meet gazing.
Oh, meat gazing. I thought you said to
Oh.
meet gaze.
What?
That's what I thought. Like,
No, I understand what meat gazing is. It's when you walk in the butchers and you can basically just look at all the meat and decide which one you want. It's just similar to that. I get the euphemism. I just didn't understand it because you said it so fast that Amy and Matt are in here because they're here to meet gays. And I'm like, whoa, meet gays? Well,
I took it that
Leroy,
way,
then
too.
they're here, definitely here for you.
Folks, on our downtime, that's all Matt and I do is throw jokes at each other like that.
Yeah, we're
So,
definitely we're definitely latently homosexual. I think it's completely fair. Folks, call into the show if you want to. Let's get into it tonight. We've got a lot to do. Let's go over to chat and see what the viewers are saying.
what are the viewers saying?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
I read a comment earlier from Amy. I think it was Amy. I got to go back and look. I think she said her son was fired for misgendering someone. Did I read that?
Yeah,
right?
I had heard that.
That was on
remember
Friday
hearing
that
that,
she had
yeah.
said that.
What the heck? I don't do social media like anymore. Like I've gone from like very little to like cold turkey. No, not because I want to. I got like 4 more weeks of this mess, and then I can be free again.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Misgendering people. We'll talk about some stuff tonight. Folks, if you haven't had a chance, share this, like it, subscribe it. Oh, by the way, this is the most popular clothing. This has over 600 likes. It's like a meme for me. We decided to start making a new hat. And it is the Make Women Female Again hat right here.
I love it.
Make Women Female Again. And this hat so far has had like 10,000 views on this meme. It's up to like 650 likes. It's crushing. And people
I'll
are
buy
like,
it.
this is awesome. Well, buy it then. I mean, what the hell's wrong with you people? Oh,
Is
it's
it-
awesome. I
is
got to
it on
have
the-
one. Well,
is it
then
on the
buy
site?
it.
Is it pink?
Is it pink? No,
I want
make
red.
it's,
I want red.
you can't have a pink MAGA hat.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a MAGA
Is it on the
hat.
site?
Yeah, it's on the site.
Okay.
Just
I didn't
type it
know.
in.
I'll buy it right now.
Still
So-
waiting for my pot pie shirt.
Yeah, I got to get that done. But this is this shirt is or this hat is extremely popular. People are loving it. It's like $25. You can't beat that. So I mean, you can go get a real MAGA hat and spend $40 because that's what he's charging at the rallies. But this one's good. You know, whatever. I'm happy with it. All right.
That was very clever.
Thanks.
I've got my MAGA hat right here.
Yeah,
You see
nothing wrong with that. That's a good looking one.
Yeah.
Make America great again. Tracy, sup. She says, sup, Tracy. Sup
Tracy.
to you too. Sup. Sup. What is sup is what and what's up, right? It's just it's
Right.
short
Right.
for what's up.
What's up?
What's
What's
up? Okay.
It's on the
Just wanna
dumb
make-
site, like the dumb show site.
Oh my God, woman. Yes, type in MAGA. Type in MAGA under search.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I'm
Let's do this.
searching. I'm slow. I'm slow.
Because if it's not in there, no wonder why it's not selling.
Yeah, I typed in MAGA, and this is. Can you see my screen?
It's
there
right
it
there. Holy shit. Yes, I
Whoa.
see your
She
screen,
had-
and it's
she
right
had to
there.
scroll.
It's right there.
Got it.
right
Ordering
there.
it now.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Hey, put in dumb 10. Get your 10%. Oh no, you don't do that. You like to.
I don't do
donate.
it.
All right.
I'm gonna get
Thomas, Ramon, Mike is here. Maureen, Tom, Sandra,
Wait.
Casey. Good.
I don't want to check
What?
out because I want to get the woke stuff too.
We'll just buy the woke stuff
I'll
too.
shop later. What?
Whatever.
I'll
Just do-
shop later.
whatever. Just do whatever. Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Hope the family is feeling better. They're doing much better. Hayden wanted to be on the show tonight. We told her no. She's got to plan a little bit more. And we got to build topics for her.
And she still needs to clean her room. Her
Oh,
room's a disaster.
My God. Are we still sitting on that?
Well, I told her to organize her closet, so she pulled everything out of her closet, and then she got sick. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Carol's here. Paul's here. Melanie, Maureen, Mike, Ramon,
Ramon.
Carl, Carrie. I'm holding my kid's hair back while she is puking, so no germaphobe here. Oh, boy. That doesn't sound fun. Tuner's here. Kristen says, let's see swatting in Florida today. Dust storm kills 6. 50, 80 car pileup. Standoff in Tennessee with dog dead. Officer shot in Alabama and suspect on... Jeez.
Oh.
That's not good news. I banned my husband to the spare bedroom now. He sneezed right in my face while we were sleeping, and I got sicker than him. Oh, that's not good. Frank, what is going on? Olivia Spear, yeah, sucks because you feel bad. Swatting, I think she went sweating. And yes, we got everybody. All right, let's power through. Good to see everybody here. Good to see the comments. We will continue to monitor the comments. How we got anybody over on Rumble? Anything going on?
We got 6 on YouTube and 9 on Rumble.
All right, it's slow Tuesday. People usually, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's 88. I mean, it's going to get up to the hundreds. People think that we're not on Tuesday. That's probably why. So let's get to this. If you have not had a chance, please call into the show. Real simple, real easy to do. Liv, put that up, please.
I don't have it. You've got it.
Oh,
You never gave it to me.
just hit the button.
Okay.
Yeah, I fixed it. So there it is. See? I fixed it. All right. You want to call into the show? It's right there. And please do. You're more than welcome to have an opinion. I'm sure you'll have something to say. And if you do, just swing by and say hello. All right. So this is what's going on. This is what's interesting in the world today is, damn it, I thought I fixed all these. Hold on. All right.
What'd you do?
I had to
What'd you
fix this.
do?
I had to fix the stupid camera. All right. Question, Matt. Do you watch all hockey, all teams, and other organizations such as World Junior, etc.? I watch all hockey, all teams, and I follow World Juniors and AHL teams mainly to check on key players. Yes, I follow everything in hockey. I'm not going to sit here and tell you who the goaltender for the Quantum Loops or from the QMJHL or the Swedish and Finnish league. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I watch a little bit of everything.
Yeah, congrats on your Leafs.
Yeah, congrats on the Leafs. Dude, the Leafs, they're in so much trouble. They should not have won that series. The Leafs, just no offense, they're dog shit. They're complete dog shit. And they don't check up the boards. They're afraid to get hit. They just keep throwing it in the middle. If they do that, they are going to get picked apart when they get to a team with speed like New Jersey, even Florida. Florida's going to have a fucking field day with Toronto unless they figure out their game. But, you know, who am I to talk? The Avalanche are out. So it's just sad. It's just a sad. First of all, I've never said this in my career, ever watching sports. Olivia will attest. I'm very fair. I'm very unbiased when it comes. That was the worst fucking officiating I have ever seen in my life.
Ever seen. It's shocking.
They just gave the Kraken those games. I mean,
Yep.
dude, the fucking penalties in the first 4 games. I'm just like, what in the?
And then suspending Makar for a regular hit, and then not
You broke a guy's neck and you didn't get one game.
Suspending him for breaking.
He
Gagliano's
broke
neck.
somebody's fucking neck. They broke his neck. They boarded him, broke his neck, and not even one game suspended. This is ridiculous. Yeah. It doesn't matter. The Avs were exhausted. I even told Olivia when it was over, I said, thank God. They need a break. This team has been through so much. And the fact that they did not get 5 months off, they literally got, 82 days off with so many injuries.
And then they were drunk half the time.
Well,
too.
so that happens to every team. But it's just hockey is the toughest sport that there is. There's nothing like it in the world. So the Avs are done.
Panthers are up 1-0, by the way.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the Panthers are going to roll Toronto. It's just not even going to be a series. I'm just letting you know. I like Toronto in the sense that I wanted them out of the first round. Well, they got there. Now they're going to understand what second round's like, and they have no idea what they're in store for. Florida, it may just well come out of the East. What they did to Boston was embarrassing. Embarrassing. I mean, Boston was the greatest NHL team ever to take the ice. Ever. They won 65 fucking wins out of 82. It's never happened in the NHL before. Ever. And it's just ridiculous. They are better than the 95-96 Red Wings. They're better than any Montreal Canadian team. They're better than fucking Gretzky in his heyday with Edmonton or the Kings. I don't know what to tell you. Boston, they fucking waffled like a taco. And if you think that doesn't make any sense, it doesn't. Either does them leaving. All right. Don't get me started talking about hockey. Stros are down 1-0, unfortunately. That's all right. Stros will be fine. They've been giving up early runs, but the Stros are going to be just okay.
They wait till the 6th inning to
Yeah,
get their bats hot.
they don't score shit, but they get to you get to the bullpen and the Stros. Stop getting me to talk about sports, people. Knock it off. You should know better. All right, let's get to the first thing.
I have a sports question for you.
God darn it.
My God.
Yes, Amy.
She doesn't. She's
Have you
just
guys
being an
heard?
ass.
Wait, I feel like an idiot for not knowing this because I've lived here forever now.
Yeah, tell
But
me.
have you heard of the Percival Cannon? Is it Cannons? The
Yes,
Percival
I've heard of
Cannons?
them.
Yeah, they're a major league or they're a minor league team. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
They're
I've
not
never heard
minor
under a
league, they're
rock.
just baseball team. And Jason and Katie told me about them. They get season tickets.
That's
To
great.
go.
That's great. I had season tickets to the Astros. Fuck that. I'll never go to a game. It's boring. I go to my son's little league games. Those are fun. Yes, I'll go. If we can get tickets, I'll go. I'll do anything for free stuff.
I'll go.
Okay, so listen, folks, you gotta give me some slack here. I've been on since Friday, and a lot's happened, not just in the sporting world, but I just wanted to I just want to talk about hockey one more time. Okay, my team's gone. I just wanted to tell you, God damn, bless America. Sorry.
Oh, they're out now? I had no idea.
Don't be an ass. At least
Why not?
unlike
Did
some
you-
teams, they actually got in Capitals. Why don't you shove it, Amy? Nobody likes
I
you.
don't know. Look, I don't
I
follow
do.
sports anymore. I don't have time.
Dude, enough of the baby voice. Seriously, God, stop the fucking crying. It's almost like Harry Sisson is on here. All right. So thanks, Liv, for that. All right. So listen, okay. When are liberals just going to own it? Okay. This is it. There's nothing else I can say. They want the Constitution gone. Now, the big cry is there's this huge push. Let's get Clarence Thomas out of there. They're going after Kavanaugh again. They're going after Gorsuch. Not Gorsuch. Yeah. Who took over in 2016 before Gorsuch? Yeah. So they're going after everybody. And they're trying to expand the courts to 13. Now, the reason why they're telling you they want to expand the courts to 13 is because there are 13 different districts in the United States, right? So they had to expand because of workload. But who gives a shit? The number 9, all the SCOTUSes agree on. And the only reason they want to do it is they don't give a shit about justices taking money or anything else. The only thing they care about is to get the majority. They want the fucking majority. That's what they want. And they know they can't, because of the filibuster, they can't go ahead and expand the courts.
Sure, the idea is to make the court completely political, right? Rather than just interpret the law the way it's been written. Rather than that, we want to be able to say that, nope, our party has the majority in the office. That way we can manipulate things as we see fit.
Exactly. That's all this is about. And the same reason why they want to make Washington, D.C. a state. The founding fathers were extremely clear that the Washington, D.C., that's kind of like that's like with gremlins. Don't get them fucking wet. Don't feed them after midnight. Don't put them in the sunlight. There's some basic rules from the founding fathers, and Washington, D.C. not being a state was one of them. That's like sunlight. That's like the worst.
Puerto Rico. They want Puerto Rico.
They want Puerto Rico too, of course. And then, Guam and
don't wanna get
wherever
Puerto Ricans
else.
wet?
What's that?
Wait, you don't want to get Puerto Ricans wet?
No. I mean, I have no problem with Puerto Ricans. I mean, I think we should embrace Mexicans at all times.
Jeez.
And yeah,
Matthew.
what? It's all the same thing. Can we stop pretending that it's not? They all came from the Mayans, the Aztecs, or the Incans. They're not Spanish. I mean, give me a
They're
fucking break.
Hispanic.
Whole South America.
No, it's so funny. We have a friend who was born and raised in Puerto Rico. He lives
Say
here
it.
now.
Say it.
He's
He's
the
Mexican.
white, no, he's as white as me. Like I would have never known.
Right, but listen, Mexicans get all pissed off. They're like, "Hey, man, don't call me a Chicano, I'm Cuban, or don't call me Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, or don't call me this or I'm Latina." Who gives a shit, right? It doesn't matter. You guys, your entomology all comes from fucking the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incans. So you're all Mexicans. Just deal with it. You're all a bunch of freaking. You also slaughtered and murdered a whole bunch of people. Congratulations. You guys sacrificed on pyramids. 90,000 people in a 72-hour period of time. Yeah, you guys.
I mean, I wasn't there.
Right.
Well, you know how this works. We're slave owners, even though we didn't own any slaves, right? We're
There's a
responsible
very
for.
high likelihood that in all of our past that
I did.
hardly any
My
of us
my
actually
family did.
owned slaves, but probably were slaves.
I got my great grandfather's will. I've got blood. People don't know this. I have African American blood in me because my great grandfather in that line from Georgia slept with slaves. So I've got African American blood. It's a very minuscule amount. It's like Elizabeth Warren. I'm not sitting here listening to Tupac and, it's going to Crenshaw and shit. Unlike Elizabeth Warren, who rides a pony and starts her own fires and has a
Wait a
teepee.
minute, what are you saying?
I'm saying, dude, I can't believe it. Just don't put that other one up. You're gonna get me banned. So anyway, so here's what it comes down to. Liberals, they want the Constitution gone. They go after the Second Amendment. 9 of the 10 Bill of Rights have all been modified at one point or another with legislation, something that they were never supposed to be done. Government was not supposed to limit the rights of the people ever. Now, here's the thing. Is you can't, people say First Amendment that you can't shout fire in a movie theater. That's absolutely not correct. You certainly can.
If
The
there's a fire.
government, no, even if there's not a fire, you can. You can go into the middle of a fire and go, or middle of a concert and go, fire, we're all going to die. And no one can stop you from doing that. However, the repercussions of that are decided by the law. So there's nothing in the First Amendment that's been amended or redacted or changed in all. And people always say that, oh, well, freedom of speech, you can't shout fire. So no. Those are laws that punish you. Just like you can just say just about anything, but there's libel and slander laws. That's not changing the First Amendment. That's adding laws of punishment if you do something that causes harm to somebody else. So you shouldn't restrict the Second Amendment. You shouldn't repeal the Second Amendment. But if states want to put laws in place in order to go ahead and punish people for breaking the law, they can. It's when you restrict the rights of people and say, you can't say fire. And in fact, I'm no longer going to allow you to go to the movies because you look like a person who will shout fire. That is not what the government should do ever. And this is what Democrats want to do. This is a free speech database from Minnesota. This passed the House. I am not fucking kidding you. This database, if you have free speech that other people don't agree with, and that's really what hate speech is, let's be honest. Now, if you're over here and you're like, hey, all Jews, blah, blah, or all black people. Okay, I get that. That shit, you have a right to say it, but we also have a right to go ahead and meet up with you in the back alley of a parking lot. But what's interesting about this is that this is, if you don't agree with somebody's speech, you can call the authorities and have this person put into a database. So for example, if you wear a Make America Great Again hat, Amy, your neighbors can report you in Minnesota and put you in a database as a person who supports hate. Right. Now, this is fine and dandy now, but when China takes over and buys our country outright, I'm a little worried about who could get a hold of this database, because isn't this what they did with the Jews?
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they initially handed out gold stars to everyone and said, sew this on. Oh, don't worry. It's for an accounting thing. And then later that was how they figured out who should be hurdled onto trains. So yeah, it's a problem.
Cattle cars to be specific, right?
Yeah.
So here it is. I want you to listen to this guy, and I want you to listen to this lady behind here. And I want you to listen to this bill. This is SF 2909. It's an omnibus bill. So obviously it's packaged with a whole bunch of other stuff and slid in a bunch of pork barrel politics. But I want you to listen to it. This is insane.
Niska.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and Representative Vang. If a Minnesotan writes an article claiming or arguing that COVID-19 is a Chinese bioweapon that leaked from a lab in Wuhan, and someone reports that article to the Department of Human Rights, is that something that the Department of Human Rights should put in their bias registry under your bill?
Representative Vang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Niska, not all incidents are considered, I guess, violent or criminal, as I said before. And so this clearly, with the rhetoric that we have seen since the pandemic and regarding accusing Asians of bringing in the coronavirus, that is bias motivated, and so that can be considered a bias incident.
Representative.
So did you just hear
all
what she
Asians?
said?
I was
yeah.
going to say, what?
Just all of them.
Yeah.
They all did
Listen-
it.
That's so
Listen to-
racist. And she looks Asian, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, don't assume her race. How dare you?
I
Okay.
said she looks Asian. I didn't.
She's from
accuse her of
South
being
America.
Asian.
She's Cuban. So get it right.
She may not even be a she. Don't assume her gender.
That's right. She might be a
Amy.
he.
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah.
that's a good point.
I think it's really wrong of you to assume that her name is she. You know, her name
Golly.
could be Yang. It could be Thang,
Right.
Dang, Pang,
Oh, my
Jang,
golly.
Quain, Lane, Dang, Dong, Wong, Jong, Jun, Poon,
June, yeah.
Kun. I don't think it could be that. Sorry, how dare me? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant with a K, K-U-N. So anyway, now that I've done that, first it was Olivia with her comment about matches the other night, now mine. All right, so what they're saying, and I want you to listen closely, is what they said was real simple. If it's criminal, we're not talking criminal in the sense of breaking the law, that you say something that's considered criminal. Who decides that? Who gets to make the decision if saying that the COVID virus escaped from Wuhan is criminal?
Sure.
So she's sitting there saying, yeah, that would go in the database. Listen to the rest.
Niska.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I heard yes to that, which is very troubling to me, that someone making a factual argument along those lines, I think is something that's within political discourse would be included in the Department of Human Rights database. Let me ask you another question, though, if Representative Vang would yield.
She will yield. Representative Niska.
Brenda, I don't know why you're not able to comment on Rumble. Olivia hasn't banned anybody, so you have to sign up to an account. Make sure you're on an account. That's the only thing I know. Let's listen to the rest.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Representative Vang,
This guy name is Representative Mishka. So he's probably Russian, right? So that doesn't help. So she's immediately going commie. This guy's a Putin puppet, right? Doesn't matter. I mean, automatically, he's probably already in the database for what he just asked.
Minnesotan is wearing a T-shirt that says "I love J.K. Rowling," and someone sees that and reports them to the Minnesota Department of Human Rights as an example of gender identity or gender expression bias. Is that something that the Minnesota Department of Human Rights should put in this bias database?
Representative Vang.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and Representative Niska. I think this question will best be answered by the lawyers. I'm not a lawyer myself. I think in the language of the provision, we have looked at the language to make sure that a substantial part of any incident has to be relating to bias and hate and motivated. And so I will, I'm not going to say a yes or no to that question. It is really up to the those investigating to decide whether there is substances.
Substances? What the hell is that?
Here's the thing, and then I'm gonna hand this over to everybody else. This is a giant load of crap, and I'm gonna tell you quickly why. First of all, lawyers don't interpret the law. Lawyers defend or prosecute. That's all they do. Lawyers do not get to go ahead and interpret law. Those are judges. And it would be district judges because this is a constitutional type of thing. This is a state's constitution. So you would immediately have to go ahead and give this to the judges. We already learned what this looks like with these states imposing law and changing constitutional law for the states with judges. Judges don't get to discern what is what. That's not the way they do it. You propose legislation and they rule if the legislation is constitutional. And if it is, they will enforce those laws by the governor's direction. It's just like the federal government, folks. You can't have the Supreme Court literally decide, oh yeah, abortion's legal, just slap it on the 14th Amendment. We can murder babies. That's why it was unconstitutional. You need legislation to pass. Now, the SCOTUS, what their job to do is you can pass legislation, then they interpret it, and then if it is unconstitutional, they kick it back to the House or the Senate, and they have to revise. Then the SCOTUS will hear it upon the revision that's made. There's a processes to these things. This law is dangerous. This law is terrifying, and it's the beginning of free speech and creating databases, which is just what the Nazis did in regards to the troublesome Jews, the one who would make the most problems, the one who had the most wealth, the ones who supported the state of Germany before and after 1932. And they subjugated these people, just like Leroy said, to gas chambers and cattle carts and you know, everything else dehumanizing that they could possibly experience. And it started with shit like this. Now, I want you to go back to COVID when everyone was like, dude, what's up with these health passports? This is like Nazi Germany. I want you to go back to what Leroy and I have said about disarming the population. Holy shit, that's like Nazi Germany. How they went ahead and they took religion out of schools, took religion out of people's hands and objectified it as something that's wrong. How they went ahead and used socialist propaganda in order to have state-run media. Folks, if you can't see the parallels between this country and 1940, I don't know how to help you do that. Amy, go. Leroy, next. Livia, sum us up. Go.
I'll just say it's alarming because as a non-criminal, I am a law-abiding citizen by and large. I've never had any runs in with the law. I mean, I've never had any runs in with a law. I don't know.
I ain't no ways tired.
I ain't no ways. Do you want some hot sauce out of my purse? We can go ahead and get you some chicken wings. Would you like some chicken wings, Hillary?
Oh my
I ain't
God.
in no ways tired. All right. Do you have a Hillary sound or something?
It's not working.
No, I'm a law-abiding citizen. It's my whole point of this. And they're letting actual criminals out without bail walk the streets. You can murder somebody and you just get let go. But if you wear the wrong hat or t-shirt or you have the wrong post on social media, you are now being treated as a criminal who has, you know, sanctions put against you. Essentially, it's probably going to come down to like, well, you're flagged and everything's electronic now. So when you walk into a store, they can get your data off of your phone or whatever and say, well, this person's not allowed because they have a red mark against their name and
Right.
Have a little gold
they're
star.
a dangerous person.
Go ahead, Leroy.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a lot like what's happening in China right now with this social credit system. I mean, if you say anything that is in any way offending, or if you disagree with the party that's in power at the time, that basically you risk, right? You risk being hauled off to some sort of re-education camp. And that's a real thing that's happening in China right now. And so when we start talking about the freedom of speech and the First Amendment, I would like to know how, if this does in fact get pushed up, right, how the first case that challenges that would end up looking like in front of the Supreme Court. Now, if anybody recalls, back in 2020, it was AOC who suggested, and this is a headline from the Washington Examiner. It says, keeping tabs, AOC suggests supporters make lists of social media posts from Trump sycophants to hold them complicit. And what she was basically suggesting is, hey, we need to start making a list of people that we don't like. And this is nothing more. This is the same thing, right? This is basically just saying, hey, look, we don't like this post, right? And so now we're going to log you, and you really need to watch your ass now. I am waiting for the day where we have a politician that walks up in front of someone like that and just blasts with the go F yourself, you know, and just let it slide. You know,
Listen,
I don't care if my name's on a list at that point. I'm not going to shut up.
Well, and that's the thing is that, you know, who maintains this list? How do you get off this list? What's the criteria? What are we looking for? Is this to be used by any administration? So now it's not just a tool for one party, it's a tool for all parties to go ahead and see who can add the most names to it. Then what do? Do you remove their right to vote? Do you remove their free speech? Can they no longer donate? Maybe their vote only counts as 3/5 of a person at some point. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we want to go ahead and talk about
We already have a
reparations,
two-tier justice system, maybe.
why not go ahead and say, well, you're a Republican. You don't have a full vote. Your vote is only, and then that would truly be a racist, unlike the original 3/5 compromise, which had nothing to do with race, but we can go ahead and pretend that it did. Here's my biggest dilemma, and I want to give AOC some credit. She just is pushing a piece of legislation through with Matt Gaetz, and it's really exciting to see. And it's actually saying that all House representatives and Senate can no longer purchase stock while serving the United States government. And I'm like high five to AOC and Matt Gaetz. Those are two extreme wings of the parties. AOC, the far left, and then Matt Gaetz is far right. I mean, most assuredly, to see them work on a piece of legislation which makes sense is beautiful. And I hope it won't pass. Nobody will let this thing pass, but it should. And I think it's a great first step. Now, we understand that sometimes far left and far right are needed in order to bring people to the middle. And in this case, I think what they're doing is they're putting stakes in the ground and saying, you can't go farther left than this. You can't go farther right than this. And here's a piece of legislation that we can agree on. Now, what else can we agree on? If you can get Matt Gaetz and AOC to agree on something, then that's an exciting thing. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care what they do. I don't care if you like them or not. That is a piece of legislation that I can get behind, because that and getting rid of Citizens United and term limits all need to take place. 100%.
Derek Van
that was
Orden,
some weird shit.
that was the first piece of legislation that he pitched. I don't know if you're aware of that. Derek Van Orden was the former, he was a senior chief SEAL, and he got elected, and he made it known that that was the first piece of legislation that he pitched was term limits. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, and the founding fathers didn't want term limits, and they felt that term limits ultimately was the vote of the people. But the problem is that they did not understand that at some point, gerrymandering, redistricting, all of these things would take place where all that they do is the red doesn't want to give up their pieces of the Stratego board, and the blue doesn't want to give up their pieces of the Stratego board, and they've stuck their flags in the sand, and they will change these lines, but ultimately it's based upon territory, and redistricting takes place based upon the demographic. You're never going to see a change in the vote. If you have Ilhan Omar, which is predominantly Somalian people, you're going to see her get reelected. AOC, in the area that she is in, is predominantly progressive. She's going to continue to get in. And the founding fathers didn't want that. I think district lines are completely ridiculous. I think the entire state should vote on state legislature, on Senate, and also and any type of local representation should be county, not necessarily townships. I think you should take it down a step and allow more people to vote, because you're never going to change anything until you allow the small towns to make county change. You're never going to change the state level until the counties can all vote on the same state and district representatives. That's the whole point. That's why Senate is based upon the state, is because those people can come together and decide, these are my state representatives, but they don't do that for the House. The House is broke up in districts. And, we've got to look at our voting system. There's no doubt about it, because what they have done is locked up these districts that are literally red or blue strongholds, and people just run unopposed all the time, which baffles me. How can you not run against somebody? I mean, I see Republicans win unopposed and Democrats. I'm like, fuck, was there nobody? I mean, nobody who could challenge these people, and why wouldn't they?
It wasn't that long ago, if I recall correctly. There was was it a council person in one of the other districts? I can't even remember what state it was, but the guy ended up winning, even though he had passed away like 6 weeks prior, because he was the only person on the ticket. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, they voted for a dead guy. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
That's happened several times, and it's name recognition. It happens as people assume, and they get left on the ballot. They voted a guy that was in the hospital who was comatose, but people didn't get the word, and they didn't change the ballot in the last minute, so they kept him on. I mean, if you look at, there's a great movie called Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy, where he uses name recognition to get elected. And he basically changes his name to a lifelong person who died. And then he goes to his wife and he says, can I have all your old campaign stickers and your old posters? And she gives them to him. And he, you know, he has no money, but he runs for office and he gets elected on name recognition. It's not unheard of. It happens all the time. Can you imagine if, you know, Dick Durbin, instead of Dick Durbin, you say Dick Durbin croaks and someone goes, oh, well, I'm Richie Durbin and I'm going to go run. And people are going to be like, oh, that's Rich Dick. That's the same guy. And it's different enough. And he has a good chance of getting elected. Yeah. It's amazing how stupid people are because they just down ticket vote. They really do. They just down ticket vote. It's insanity. All right.
Can I say something about the whole?
Yeah, do that. And I'm going to look at Rumble.
Somebody did say that you have to have a desktop version. It can't be on your phone. I guess you cannot comment on your phone. So if you're watching on Rumble on your phone, you can't comment. Is what somebody said.
Okay.
So you have to be on a laptop or a desktop.
I just tried
computer,
it.
I guess. So
no, I just tried it. Did it work?
It worked on your phone?
I'm not sure. I don't even
know. No, it's okay.
Counts,
Listen, folks, here's what it comes down to. Yeah. Is that Rumble sucks. It's growing. I like Rumble in a lot of ways, but it's just limited on what it can and can't do. If you need to, and you want to say something, 571-329-7576. You can text my cell phone. I will get it, and then I will answer your question. Or just come on to Facebook or send Olivia a private message on Facebook, however you want to do it. You guys got to decide.
All right, so I have an opinion on this whole free speech thing. So is there an age limit to this? Do you have to be an 18 and older to make the complaint? Because they're letting children as young as 6 decide if they want to transition into being the other sex.
That's a great question.
So what happens when they allow elementary school children or middle school? I mean, middle school is vile and awful. And these kids are horrible and ruthless and mean. So what's going to say, well, Sally Sue over there was mean to me in PE today, so I'm going to go and she was wearing a pink shirt and blah, blah. I don't like her now, so I'm going to go and I'm going to report her. And now Sally Sue's on the list because so-and-so didn't like her. I mean, what's to stop that?
That's a great point. Yeah. It's a good question. It's a wonderful question. It makes a lot of sense. I think we have a responsibility to ask these questions. And even though we may not be from the state of Minnesota, what goes for one goes for all. I mean, we've seen this with pot legalization. It took one state, and then all of a sudden,
they're all going to fall. It's dominoes. They're all going to fall.
And you know, the blue states. That's one thing that they do. They're like a cancer. One of them gets the idea in their head, and the rest follow. I mean, but that shit should scare people. That's like,
absolutely,
you know, and you expect them to be like, oh, well, they'll be okay with red flag laws. They'll do it the right way. They'll never abuse it. No, but like they won't weaponize the IRS like Joe Biden has done or Barack Obama has done. No, why would they do? Why would they go ahead and spy on all Americans? That's just ridiculous. Of course, that's not going to happen. Yeah, right. It's insanity.
Except that it does happen.
Well, that's the point.
So Mel just asked on my point, said, aren't they trying to get kids to be allowed to vote in some states?
Yes.
They were trying to lower it to 16.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there had been a couple of papers done that said that as children are, you know, younger, that because they are a little more idealistic, that that most children, meaning if they haven't been given that structure when they're younger, that they do tend to lean left. And so I guess there was a paper done on it that basically suggested that if you were to allow for 16-year-olds to vote, that would push a lot of left-leaning politicians over the hump.
Holy shit, it will. Yeah, I mean, dude, incredible. All right, we got a caller here. Caller, where are you from and what's your name? All right, Judy, hold on. I'm going to get you on right now. All righty, folks. We got Judy from Missouri on the phone, from Missouri. Judy, what did you want to talk about tonight?
Hi, Judy.
I want to talk about that free speech thing that's going on in Minnesota.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the craziest thing I think I have heard of in all of my years.
Yes, ma'am.
This is it's just insane, the amount of, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. it's insane how they want to construe everything along with this wokeism that's in society now
Right.
to make
right.
it just the world is on a slippery slope.
Oh, it is.
Well, it is.
It is.
Absolutely is.
And it's just very scary to see this. You know, I'm 65, so I've seen a lot of things and experienced a lot of things. And I think it's just, I think with my age group, people even younger than me, well, you know, and older, we've seen things that have been happening throughout the world. And then we see things that are happening now, I mean, in the past, you know, and then we see what's going on in the United States now, and we're like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
How are they even capable of coming up with these ideas that they think that, you know, men can be women and, you know, we can let little kids change their minds on their sex when they don't even know what sex is yet. You know,
That's right.
Judy, I completely
it's
agree
just-
with you, and I
I
actually have a theory on this. I think
I
that
don't
it's
know,
got something
I
to
just
do
get
with
so
the
frustrated.
She might not be able to hear you. Judy, can you hear
that's okay.
Leroy and Amy?
No, I can't.
Okay, one
Oh,
second.
we have a question. Can you relay it? I have a question. So
No, I'm not. I don't need to relay it. Just hold on. Let me fix this. Hold on, Judy. Stay here.
I'm here.
I just got to fix this.
stand
here.
fast.
Was
Wait,
the
don't
word
ever say
you were
that
looking for indoctrinate?
I don't know if she can hear you, honey.
I think that was it. Yeah, that
Okay,
would
so
be a
you
good
can
word
hear
for
them.
it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Why? Okay, Judy, say something. Can everyone hear her? Go. Can you guys hear Judy?
Hear her. Nope.
Okay, now you can't hear her. All right. Now, Judy, sorry,
Now
this
I
takes a second. You can hear her
Yeah.
now? Okay.
yes.
Can you hear Amy or Leroy now?
Test.
Okay.
Check.
Talk.
No.
Hey, Judy.
Okay,
I haven't
I know
heard
why.
anything.
Just bear with me. I just got to fix this. It just takes a second. Audio settings. Right. It's weird. It's not.
Never happened before.
No, this has happened before, but I don't know why. Go ahead and Leroy and Amy, say something real quick, please.
Check. 1, 2. Judy, can you hear me?
No, she can't.
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead and ask your question real quick. And I don't remember how to do this, but I will figure it out. But go ahead and ask and I'll relay. Olivia, can you relay while I try to figure this out?
Yes.
Go ahead, Amy.
So my question is, since Judy is a little bit older than myself, and you know, social media wasn't prevalent. I need to have a drink tonight.
Make the question short, Amy. She's got to relay it.
All right. Since social, you know, we didn't have the news media that we do today. Is this a product of the reporting and how in your face and how real time things are, or does she believe that this is just the world is really truly worse than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
Okay, I'm going to try and relay that as best as I can. So Amy wants to know if you think that what's going on is a product of just time and moving on, or if it's the fact that we've got social media and media in our face 24 hours a day and instant gratification. We can see everything instantly online. Uh-oh.
Judy, did you hear that? I think she jumped.
Uh-oh.
Oh, darn it.
Okay. No, she just got disconnected. So, hey, somebody get Hayden to call in real quick.
Okay. I'll get it real quick.
Sorry, guys. Just one second. Go ahead, Leroy. Just talk, dude.
Just a real quick point. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
My
So
original
spit it
point.
out.
Sure, you're good. My original point to what Judy was saying was that I think part of that has to do with some sort of educational decline, and either that can be seen as you know, just people aren't studying history like they used to, or we just don't read as many books. Because what's the name of this thing in Minnesota with where they're trying to put people on the list? What was the
A human rights database.
human rights database? I mean, is there any? Can anybody see a correlation between a human rights database and the Ministry of Truth from 1984? Right?
Right, which is what they wanted to put in, which Joe Biden created the Ministry of Truth, if we remember that, just recently, and they called it, like it was something very, very, no, I don't know if it was called the Ministry of Truth. I think that's what the media called it, but it was very close to that.
To it, yeah.
And it's terrifying. And then, of course, they even hired that batshit crazy lady. Hold on a second. All right, caller, can you hear us?
Hello, Father.
Hello, Dada. All right, can you guys hear Amy and Leroy say something?
I can hear Hayden.
Can you hear them, Hayden?
No, I didn't hear anything.
You guys, talk again. You cut out.
Testing.
Check 1 2. Hello,
If they're talking, I still cannot hear anything.
Hello, Father.
Okay. All right. We'll figure it out later. I love you. Talk to you later, kid. Bye.
All right, love you. Bye.
All right. So we're not going to be able to take any phone calls. As if you got something to talk about, that's fine. We can relay, but we'll figure out what the hell's going on here. It's just, one big problem after another. All right, let's watch this video real quick. This is Peter Doocy talking to KJP. I apologize for the quality. It's shit quality, but you can get to the point. Now, KJP wants to know, Peter Doocy wants to know, you said the other day that border is down 90% year over year. What the hell are you talking about? And of course, she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about because she has to flip fervently through her binder. But here it is. Wait, I need to change the audio. All right, here it is.
Yesterday, that when it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%.
Can everyone hear that? Yep.
Where did that number come from?
I was
CBP
speaking.
is telling us the number is.
I hear you. I'm about to answer.
136,000 people more.
I'm about to answer you.
Year so
if the dramatics could come down just a little bit.
Dude, she's so fucking arrogant. It's like,
yes, she is.
Lady,
Let him finish the question.
just shut up for a second and let the man talk. And, we understand you hate Fox News. Okay, we get it. Congratulations. We even heard from, Dark Brandon. I don't know if you guys saw that bullshit during his comedy routine during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He's like, I'm Dark Brandon. He's like, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, I'm sorry for the language, but I can't stand this guy. She's just as bad. She said it. You know what? I made a mistake. My numbers were off, but no, she's going to blame Peter Doocy. Here it is.
I'm about to answer.
136,000 people more.
I'm about to answer you.
Year so
if the dramatics could come down just a little bit. If the dramatics could come down a little bit.
What's dramatic about asking a question about?
Okay, I'm going to answer. So I was speaking to the Paroli program. As you know, the president put in place a Paroli program to deal with certain countries on ways that we can limit illegal migration. And we have seen the data has shown us that it has gone down by more than 90%. That was what I was speaking to. No, we're going to go. We're going to move. Go ahead. We're moving, Peter. Let's go.
Oh my God, how rude.
It's not about being rude. It's just,
she's dodging it because she can't.
Do your fucking
there's
job.
No way.
Yep,
there's
she's
no
afraid.
way her logic could stand up to a follow-up question. There's just no way because the numbers don't support that at all.
Who gives a shit about parolees? Who cares? Who cares? Once they're in the system, and if you're paroled, it means you were released on your own recognizance from prison. And if they're illegal, they're going to be deported back. Who gives a shit? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about illegal immigrants who skirt the border or don't go into a port of entry or go into a port of entry and skip their trial date in order to go ahead and be certified whether they are granted asylum or not. That's what we care about. It's just like this Texas shooter that they're talking about. This person's like, oh, it's a Texas shooter and they had a rifle, an AR-15, blah, 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 blah. But that person was an illegal immigrant. He was deported 5 times. He had an illegal gun. And of course, you don't hear anything about this. The media goes, oh, another mass shooting. And you're like, wait a second, stop. This was an illegal immigrant who was deported 5 times, who murdered a family of 5, one of them an 8-year-old baby, because this asshat was firing his weapon in his backyard and they told him to keep it down. And he went and murdered them because they were from a different part of the world from them. And they were Hispanic, Latina, whatever the fuck, from South America, Honduran, I don't know what they were. And then he's Mexican national and he goes and kills them all.
Yeah. KJP
Hello?
is one of those people that gets under my skin so badly. And the moment that you had went ahead and posted what the topic for this show was going to be about, I went ahead and looked it up because I knew this was going to come up. The total encounters, and this was just reported in the last day or two in the media.
Correct.
The total encounters in fiscal year 17 were 310,000. Fiscal year 18, 404,000. This goes all the way through. By the time we hit fiscal year 2021, we were at 1,662,000. In fiscal year 22, it was 2,214,000. This year to date, fiscal year 23, and we're only into May, we are currently at 1,065,514. That is not down 90%. That is a blatant lie, and she can't do math.
It comes down to this. The border is an immense failure, and they're trying to turn it around on Republicans because Democrats run to the middle. They know what they know what America wants. The America doesn't want leftism. See, the funny thing about Republicans is they don't go far right. Donald Trump was not a far right candidate. I don't know what the hell people are talking about. Not at all. He was more moderate than I've seen in almost my lifetime as far as what he did. The Democrats weren't having any of it. They didn't want any relationship with him. They didn't want to pass. Even the Republicans didn't want Donald Trump as president. The Never Trumpers made his first 2 years so difficult. It's amazing all the legislation that Donald Trump got passed through because it was a sheer just bloodbath. It was a lame duck presidency from start because he had his own party against him. But to sit here and say that any Republican is far right who has been president of the United States would be a complete lie and a fallacy. It is not accurate. But there are far left presidents, and you would be shocked to learn that Joe Biden is progressive and left the way that he is doing what he is doing. Just look at the Sudan. Look at the evacuation of the embassy there. Instead, he is such a failure in Afghanistan. They won't even touch it now. They're leaving it to the local security. United States doesn't want to get involved because Joe Biden doesn't want to look bad. So you know what he did. The Joint Chiefs are like, wait a second, we've got to do A, B, and C. And he's like, no, we're not doing anything this time. We learned our rule with Afghanistan. Look how fucked up that was. This guy is scared to do anything because he's afraid to do even worse. Everything he touches turned to shit. He's the dyslexic version of Keen Midas.
You know, in the last year of his presidency, excuse me, DEA reported that there was in 2020, I'm talking about, that there was 4.8 thousand pounds of fentanyl that was seized at the southern border. In 2021, after the presidency had changed hands, that number went from 4.8 thousand pounds to 11.2 thousand pounds. And so when the DEA releases statistics and headlines that basically say, hey, we seized enough fentanyl incoming into the country to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States, that's a problem. And it's his job to secure that damn border.
Leroy, I appreciate your comments, but math is racist and you really need to stop. Math is racist. So that's a great segue. Listen, I want to go into more. Amy, anything on the border? You got something to jump on here?
I mean, I totally agree. I wanted to kind of even break it down a bit further. And, each state that we have has a border, and you can't decide to up and move to another state without changing your address, registering your car. You have to do the proper procedures and go through the right channels to move throughout our country. It should not be any different coming into our country. That's all. That's my 2 cents.
That's very well said. It's the truth. I mean, plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's exactly the truth. I mean, we have rules and we have laws, and they're supposed to be followed. And if they're not, that's a problem. We're going to watch this real quick. This is in regards to math is a lie. It is a very quick video. I've been making sure that these are a little faster. Here it is. Math is racist. Math is a lie. Democrats have spoken, folks. And he... lest be judged if you believe in the dogmatic principles of math. Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. My name is Matthew Spear. I am the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Good to have you here this morning.
What are we talking about? Math. Math is racist. Of course math is racist. Everything's racist. Beer's racist. Donald Trump's racist. Syrup. Waffles. Rice. Everything's racist. Dr. Seuss. Why not math? I mean, because math isn't science, right? I mean, nobody would ever say that 2 + 2 = 4 would be controversial. Well, everyone except liberals.
Quickly, so I misunderstand. Are we saying that 2 + 2, if you say it's 4, that's racist? I mean, that sounds like we may be mischaracterizing it. What, if you can quickly sum it up?
No, that's not mischaracterizing it at all. Math is basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality. So 4 might not be the right number. 2 + 2 might actually equal 5.
There's a book that's been out now for a couple of years, and
I just want to let you know that I am very proud of myself, because all I wanted to say is this person's an effing moron and does not deserve to reproduce. But instead, I dismantle the shit out of her argument. I'm just going to tell you, I would love to have been right in front of her and said all of this. I hope you enjoy it.
This has recently risen throughout the schools and going across the United States, that a pathway to equitable math instruction is the book's title, and its integrated approach to mathematics that centers around Black people, Latinx, and multilingual students in summation dictates that math is inherently racist. Solving problems in a linear fashion is racist. Showing your work, 2 + 2 = 4, is racist. That's at least what they say. But the issue here is math is not racist. Mathematics is a field of study that deals with numbers, quantity, shapes, and it has no inherent bias towards any particular race or ethnicity. Mathematical principles and concepts are universally applicable, and they do not discriminate based on race or any other factor. In fact, there really is no way they could. Mathematics is often referred to as the universal language because its principles and concepts are applicable and understandable across cultures, languages, and borders. No, folks, the language of love is not the universal language because that's a human emotion. Math is the universal language. If UFOs ever decide to come down, 2 + 2 = 4 is a language that they will speak. Unlike spoken language, which can be difficult to communicate across different cultures and regions, mathematical symbols and formulas are universal and can be understood by anyone who has learned them. Moreover, math is not dependent on cultural or linguistic context. It is a logical, systematic, and abstract language that deals with numbers, quantities, and shapes. This makes it an ideal tool for solving complex problems and making precise calculations regardless of cultural or linguistic differences. Additionally, the universality of math has contributed to its use in science, technology, engineering, and other fields where it is used as common language for collaboration and understanding between individuals from different backgrounds and cultures. Mathematics has contributed to society in countless ways throughout history, bringing us closer together no matter our race, color, or creed. Engineering, technology, it's played a critical role in the development of engineering and technology, from designing structures and machines, developing algorithms and software. Mathematics provides the tools and techniques needed to solve complex problems and innovate. How about science and medicine? There's a modern natural phenomenon leading to many important discoveries in science and medicine. For example, mathematical modeling is used to understand the spread of diseases and predict future outbreaks, and calculus is used to describe the behavior of physical systems. As far as business, mathematics is essential in the world of business and finance. From calculating interest rates to KPI indicators, stock market trends, mathematics provides the tools needed to make informed decisions and manage risk. How about art and design? Mathematics has also had an impact. For example, the principles of geometry and symmetry have been used in architecture, painting, and sculpture for centuries. How about transportation? It plays a key role in logistics and transportation, from designing efficient transportation systems to optimizing shipping routes and scheduling. Mathematics is essential in the field of cryptography and security. You use encryption for sensitive data to protect against cyber attacks. How about sports? Can you imagine baseball without tracking every single category. It's used in sports and games, from statistics to designing game strategies to betting and algorithms, as I said earlier. These are just a few examples of the many ways in which mathematics has contributed to society. Mathematics is a fundamental tool for problem solving and innovation, and its impact on society is vast and ongoing and will into the future. It is antithetical to the concept of racism. Racism is the belief that certain races or ethnic groups are inherently superior or inferior to others, and it can manifest in many different forms, including discrimination, prejudice, and stereotyping. All of this is predicated on human emotion. Human emotion is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that is not completely understood by science in any way, shape, or form. While scientific research has made great studies in understanding the psychological and neurological process that underlie emotions, emotions themselves are subjective experiences that are difficult to quantify or measure objectively. There's no rubric mathematical code to decipher emotion. You certainly can build a predictive model or discern a mathematical equation after the fact, but that is hardly helpful in mapping future outcomes because of the variant degrees of human responses. Many philosophers would use the term objective reality to refer to anything that exists and is independent of any conscious awareness of it. So in other words, it's a philosophy like unconscious bias, which states we do things or perceive things, but we will never know we are doing it. It sounds like Bull-Shintoism philosophy to me. And here is the simple fact. Math is not racist, period. Math is a language that transcends human emotion, and if human emotion is applied during the dissemination process, well, that still does not make math racist. It makes people and their limited ability incapable of the simplest of equations like 2 + 2 = 4 to understand the simplest of concepts in turn. The last thing, equitable means equal results, which, if math is racist, what will the woke equity brigade use to discern if any outcome is equitable without math? And then when they do, won't the results be racist because the math used to discern the results are racist? Woke plus liberals equals stupid. It's as easy as 2 + 2 = 5. Folks, thanks so much for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show.
I'm submitting that to PragerU. Seriously.
You absolutely should.
Yeah,
I like the placement of the coffee cup.
Thanks.
Great.
So like that's a PragerU video. Like it is a complete dissection. Is math racist? And it's 100% every word mine. And I'm going to submit it to Dennis Prager, and hopefully he'll allow me to do a 5 because I think it's that good.
Yeah,
I really do.
There are 3 kinds of people in this world: those who can count and those who can't.
It's good.
Right.
I love that.
It's funny.
I will
hear
tell
Amy-
you that
A-
while you were saying that, while I was watching that speech, just like totally impressed. I also connected a couple of dots, which granted in my feeble little mind, it's not that many. But why the left doesn't want a population that is math literate. And it all starts off with the price of eggs, the price of milk, how much one pays in taxes, or how much they're paying at the pump, their knowledge of inflation, or things like approval ratings.
Yeah.
Right. Or how to no, go ahead. Amy, go ahead. You got it.
What were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm not going to say it. Can't
Oh
say
no, this literally just makes me think about Jason and I like to make fun videos when we're selling houses, and we are very fortunate. We get really nice houses to sell for the most part, but we're always like, if we get like a really bad house that's like awful and not going to be easy to sell, we're going to say, if it's like 500 square feet, we're going to say, but it identifies as 800 square feet or 8,000 or whatever. And just because that's what this reminded me of, that people are changing things because they don't like the answer. They don't like what's presented in front of them. So they're going to say, well, to me, I see it as X, Y, and Z. And I just made me think of that because we'll probably get in trouble and never work again if we actually make that. But
what they're doing, and I just want to put this as simply as possible, and this is the best way I know how. Illogical fallacies are the easiest fallacies for people to apply. Now, there's like 13 different fallacies. There's straw man arguments. There's red herring. I mean, we can go on and on. There's a ton of, you're right, ad hominem attacks, et cetera, et cetera. There's many different fallacies. And an illogical fallacy is the easiest for people to discern and prove and assign, because simple logic will tell you that a round ball is not a square. And you don't need to be a brainiac. You just need to understand basic logic that, nope, that's not round. Now, comparative contrast, tires are round. Okay, that doesn't look like a tire. Oranges are round. Nope, that doesn't look like an orange. My balls are semi-oval, but still in the round category. Nope, that doesn't necessarily look like a square. And what they're saying is, in order for the left to sell its ideology, you have to suspend disbelief.
Yes.
In order for you to be a liberal now, part of the party platform, and the most significant part of the party platform, is the suspension of disbelief. You have to believe everything. You have to revert yourself back to your childhood when Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny were real, and you have to believe that men are women and women are men. You have to believe that abortion is okay because whatever's inside isn't alive until it exits the womb. You have to believe that guns kill people on their own, and they randomly just go ahead and control their owner to go and shoot people. You have to believe these crazy nonsensical things, that math is racist, that syrup is racist, even though syrup on the face of the fucking planet didn't do anything but cause diabetes. That's the only thing that it's ever done. That the Cleveland Indians are somehow a better team because they're now called the Guardians, and racism has slowed down against Native Americans. These ridiculous notions that Jews are to blame for what's going on in Palestine versus the 2,000 years of history and open war and bloodshed that's been going on against the Jews and the PLO and Hezbollah and Palestine. And our understanding for it is completely infinitesimal on the scope of history. We have to suspend disbelief. And it's like we're in a fucking Marvel movie. And they've changed the rules of the universe. Now, real quick, the last thing I'm going to say is when you go and watch a movie on the NerdFat podcast, when we did our show, which I need to forward you guys these episodes because you'll fucking love them.
Oh, they're hilarious.
So, but we would always say, here's the movie. It would get a FAP rating, you know? You get a FAP to it, which is, and give them a 1 through 5. And the thing we would say was, you can get a 5 FAP rating to this, but you have to suspend disbelief. You have to understand that in Fast and the Furious, if you go into it knowing physics are no longer real, okay, right. Reality is no longer real, that they're hiring a bunch of fucking DVD playing thugs to save the world, you're going to have to suspend disbelief. And yes, the tarmac is 75 miles long during the last scene of the movie in number 7. And you're going to have to embrace that. And she somehow fell from a moving plane at 150 feet into a ball of fire, and she's in fucking the show 3 shows later. You're going to have to suspend disbelief. But if you do that, movies 4 through 7 are some of the best action movies ever fucking made. And they are truly great music, great cars, sex scenes, hot Latina love, man. Living la vida loca, la familia. I mean, they are great. But if you don't suspend disbelief, they're complete shit. That's the Democratic Party. You have to believe Fast and the Furious is possible if you're going to join the Democratic Party. And that is why Republicans are stopping and saying, no more Bud Light, no more Maybelline, no more this, no more that. We're done. The buck stops here. Sorry, it's a long one. Apologize.
No, I just, to add to that, I challenge anyone who believes this new math to practically apply it and then convince the world that whatever you're applying it to is right, because I guarantee it. Like Matt said, physics. My old career was physics based down to the fraction of a millimeter, and you could really mess up a lot of stuff if you were off. I mean, math is math. There's no way around it.
It's not a mundane detail, Michael.
What about pharmacists? I mean, what about doctors and pharmacists and medicine? What happens? Well, I'm sorry, but 2 + 2, we're going to equal at 5. So I'm going to kill a patient because I OD'd them on this medicine.
Listen, this is what they're saying. Let's be clear. What they're saying is fundamentally the way math is taught is racist, is that certain groups of people, like in the middle of the inner city, they're being taught, first of all, let's be clear. The average of high school students in the United States is 6th grade, is their equivalency to their math capabilities. So teachers aren't doing a great fucking job. But in inner cities, when they're teaching long division in high school, they're teaching pre-algebra and trigonometry and geometry here in Virginia. Okay, well, that's not racist. That's just bad democratic policy. The schools are run by the government, folks. So if you're going to sit here out of one side of your mouth, sit here and say they're racist, on the other side of my mouth, I'm going to say it's because of your policies. Public schools are not a Republican initiative. Thank you fucking very much. It's a Democratic initiative, and it's been a failure for 85 fucking years. Public schools are a waste of money.
I looked up some statistics on that the other day. Not that we're agreeing that math is, racist here or not, but 1/3 of children in inner cities cannot read at their basic comprehension level, and 85% of Black students lack proficiency in reading skills. I read those statistics and about shit myself. Something else that you said, that Amy said is, I think that the left sees the world how they think it should be, and the right sees the world for what it really is.
Wow.
And one of those is grounded in reality.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really say it much better than that. So let's
good.
not try to. Jean Carroll. E. Carroll is not my lover. I didn't go into that dressing room. On the floor, in your ass, all the time. He is Donald Trump. All right. So Donald Trump's supposed rape that happened in a dressing room.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, listen, have you ever tried to have sex in a porta potty? Yeah. Okay. Dressing room, number one. And we're not talking, this is like 20 years ago. They don't have those handy capable, we had to make 17 handicap dressing rooms per place now, just like 17 handicap. There's not 17 fucking handicap people in the whole state, yet we have 17 handicap parking spots in the Best Buy. I'm just saying, I've never seen them full. Even on Black Friday, never seen them full ever. Just saying. Anyway, E. Jean Carroll supposedly was raped. Now, I've done a show on her. I could be wrong. And if a jury of her peers and Donald Trump's peers find him guilty, I will be the first to apologize. But I'm just bringing you this lady who, in my opinion, is about as credible as Al Capone, speaking on proper tax credit and tax and penal code. Okay. This is an interesting, if you haven't seen this video, first of all, if you listen closely, the left is saying, oh, this doesn't prove anything, because the left is the left. They don't care. They want to assume that Donald Trump is guilty. I posted this video and they're like, this doesn't prove anything. And I'm like, oh my God, she wasn't under oath. I'm like, you people are just fucking delusional. Like, she could come out and say, you know what? I was completely lying. Nope, someone paid her off. Donald Trump gave her money. And you guys are worse than the alt-right. You're worse than the Qers. I mean, seriously, you're just as pathetic. You pretend you're not. You pretend you're somehow above them. You're not. You're just as batshit crazy as the Qers. Listen to this, and then I want to show you an old SVU Law and Order episode, and tell me if it doesn't sound familiar. Here it is.
I always think back and think, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I should never have done it. And then I didn't behave.
When you say I should have never done it, you mean?
That was just a dumb thing to go into a dressing room with a man that I hardly know.
All right, so you willfully went into a what do you think's gonna happen when Amy, the next time you're over my house, I'm wondering, would you go into the bathroom with me?
No. Why? I mean, do you need like look at like fixture or something, or like
no. Just
like,
Amy.
Do you need
Let's
some
go to the
advice
bathroom.
on tile, or
Amy.
should you replace vanities?
Amy,
Olivia, if you
let's go in the
come with
bathroom.
me, yes.
Let's
Amy,
let's go in the bathroom.
Come to the bathroom with me.
That's right.
Come to the bathroom.
I like these new screen
No
effects that you have,
Yeah.
but you get my point, right? And hey, I got an idea. Oh, you know what it's like? It's like Pablo Francisco, the comedian, when he's talking about, murder movies. He's like, you always got this one guy who's like, he walks in, he's like, hey, where's everybody at? Hello? Becky, are you here? And you hear the music, shing, shing, shing.
I'm going to get naked and go take a shower.
I'm just going to get naked and go get in the shower. And you know he's going to die. So she's like, I'm going to go into a dressing room in a lingerie store with a man. I wonder what's going to happen or what didn't happen. Let's listen.
And have him shut the door and then be unable to stop him. And I was a competitive athlete, so I wasn't like I didn't freeze. I rose to the occasion. And
rose to the occasion.
I'm sure he did too.
I'm sure he did 3, right? I mean, God, I'm sure.
And we say,
sounds, sex sounds. Do your job.
I was waiting for the other one.
Oh, that's all right. It's okay. Go ahead.
There we go. A little late, sorry. And when she says competitive athlete, she
Cheerleader.
means she was Miss whatever state, like Indiana cheer.
Yeah, just say it quickly
And it's
because we've
just
already
awful.
rehashed this. We don't want to redo the same video. I'm just trying to get people caught up. All right. So yes, she was a cheerleader. She was an athlete. Okay. Trust me. I used to toss cheerleaders in the air all the time. And yes, we went into the bathroom occasionally when I was in college. Here it is.
And it did not last long.
It did not last long. What didn't last long? So what didn't last long? Let's
And
listen.
that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
See, she didn't say rape. It was a fight. What? What does that mean? So if you go ahead and take somebody who's not innocent and you hang them from a tree with a rope, that's called a lynching. It's not called toilet water. Just randomly, if I'm gonna have sex with Leroy, that is most assuredly gay sex. It's not called tapioca pudding. Well,
right. We could
here it
use
is.
that. but-
We could use the
word rape.
Sexual violence is in every country, in every strata of society. And that's why I don't use the word you just used. I use the word fight.
You don't use the word rape.
Sexual violence is in every country.
See, she won't answer the question, but
Every
hold on, there's
strata
more.
of society. And I just feel that so many women are undergoing sexual violence. Mine was short. I got out. I'm happy now. I'm moving on.
It's been
doesn't
20
sound like
years.
it.
I hope the fuck so. I mean, it's been 20 years and you're suing the guy. I don't think you're over it, lady. And let me ask you a question. If you got fingered in a fucking dressing room and you didn't want that to happen, and because that's what you're claiming, let's just rip the skirt off here, so to speak. Knock on wood. Just a joke. No pun intended. Why weren't you screaming? Have anyone been in a dressing room? I would be running out of there. I just fucking got raped by Donald Trump. Somebody help. Call the police. If it happened within seconds, how did you not scream? How did somebody not hear it in the dressing room? How come there's no witnesses to what happened at all, except 2 people that you supposedly told your story to?
And I think of all the women who are enduring constant sexual violence. So this one instant, this one, 3 minutes in this little dressing room, I just say it's a fight. That way I'm not the victim, right? I'm not the victim.
No.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and
See, she doesn't feel like a victim. So she won't say he raped me. She won't say, listen, rape doesn't mean intercourse. If he tried to physically do something to you that would be considered a sexual way in any sort of transfer in any other relationship against your will, that is rape. Period. If he put his hand anywhere he wasn't supposed to, that is a form of rape. It was an unwanted sexual advance at the least, at the very worst, which you're suing him for. It's rape. Hold on. Almost done.
lavish, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just,
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
All right, we're going to stop there, but now I want you to hear this.
There's nothing wrong with
just hold on to this. Hold on to this. Hold on.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
Would you like to put me in a dressing room? He's gay, sweetheart. But now listen. Now I want to be clear. I wasn't there. I don't know. I can only use my bullshit detector, and it is going off just like King Kong just walked down my street, okay? And Godzilla too with a case of the runs. My bullshit detector, it's like sleeping next to Olivia last night. It is going off, and it's saying, awooga, awooga, dive, dive. All right, now listen to this. Remember the word fantasy. Now, during cross-examination from the prosecutor, I can't find this video anywhere. It's amazing how I can never find these videos when I want to show them and they defend Donald Trump. But you've got to listen closely. E. Jean Carroll is a writer. She's a writer. It's what she does. She makes up stories for a living. And I'm not saying this is one she made up. That's allegedly. I'm just letting you know she makes up stories for a living. Now, she watches Law and Order. Openly admitted it. Now, there's one thing I know about Law and Order. If you watch Law and Order, you watch Law and Order Dallas, Law and Order Los Angeles, Law and Order Chicago, Law and Order CSI, Law and Order SVU, Law and Order the Musical. You watch them all. Don't give me that shit. Of course you do. Just like if we watch Yellowstone, we go back and watch 1883, or we watch the secondary, or if we watch spinoffs, watch Breaking Bad, you watch Better Call Saul. If you love the series, you do. She openly admits she watches Law and Order. Now she said this on the stand. This is an episode of Law and Order SVU, and you tell me if this doesn't sound the same, and then I'll tell you what she says. Here it is.
In a public place. Yes, there was one, a bit plain, and it was not her fantasy, it was mine.
Fantasy?
Okay, yeah. Role play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's while she was...
The role play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's. By the way, her accusation is that she was raped in a dressing room at Bergdorf's. I'm not done.
Trying on lingerie.
While she was trying on lingerie that Donald Trump asked her to wear. You now have 5 similarities to this story, and we're not even 22 seconds into the episode. One is that it was a role play fantasy, that she wanted it, that she was in Bergdorf's in a dressing room with this man, and it was trying on lingerie. And he's a rich and powerful, prominent man. Here's the rest.
Burst in. Hold on. Yeah. When did you and she have your date? 6 weeks ago, maybe. She wrote back.
So she was asked, do you watch SVU? Now, here's how I know that this is smelling like rotten in Denmark. See if you catch it. Do you watch SVU? No. I watch Law and Order, but I don't watch SVU because the stories are much too violent and grotesque. Paraphrasing. And then he says, do you understand the similarities in the episode? She goes, yes, it's crazy, the similarities. And he's like, and that's just coincidence. And she's like, yeah, now wait, let me finish. Yeah, just coincidence, right? And she goes, yeah, and I'm paraphrasing. Yes, that's coincidence. And then he goes, did you base these allegations on an SVU episode? She said, no. Leroy, what's weird about that testimony? What's wrong about that testimony?
Other than it's a steaming pile of coincidence?
Yeah. No, besides that, she said she didn't watch SVU. So how the fuck did you see the episode?
I get your point. Your point prior was that when someone is involved in watching a show, you don't just omit the other parts of the shows. Like you're going to watch the whole series if at all possible. And so, damn Skippy, she saw that clip probably.
Yeah. Well, Trump's lawyers hit her on this, guys. I mean, it's not like, and it's not like they didn't hit her. And people are like, I thought they borrowed from real crimes to come up with the shows. It's not a crime, though.
Right.
Don't you understand? There are no charges. There's no crime. He's not guilty of anything. So understand that this story just came out. That episode is a while ago. So it's ridiculous to assume that the writers wrote this story based on Donald Trump. And it's ridiculous because her story came out after the episode. Remember, this was back in like 2004. She's been walking around with this thing and didn't say anything until 2016. Then it went to bed after the election, and now it's back in 2023. Are you fucking?
She didn't get her payday. That's what it is.
No, she has a new book out. Is what it. Folks, you didn't know she has a new book out, and she's fucking she's trolling her book. This is for book money. I mean, come on, people. How stupid. Okay, you can't have Donald Trump, who can grab him by the pussy, and then get claimed that he grabbed him by the pussy after that tape came out. Why didn't she make this claim any other time? He's a billionaire. Why not make this claim then? It's just ridiculous.
She went in willingly because she didn't have a claim.
So we know what I would do if I was a lawyer. I'd say, did you go in there to have sexual relations with Donald Trump? Did you go in there? Get her to lie on the stand. But see, the thing is Donald Trump hasn't even shown up to this thing. That's how serious he's taken it. I wouldn't either. It's a fucking fallacy.
Tina Savage says this is horrendous for all true rape victims, and yes, you're absolutely right. It lessens the severity of it for real cases, and it's sad.
She can't. This is just like Blasey Ford. She can't remember a time.
Oh yeah.
She can't remember the specifics, can't remember the date, and can't remember who was in the room. But somehow Justice Kavanaugh didn't do anything to her. That's it. Kavanaugh was accused of making her feel uncomfortable. That's what they said. And he threw her supposedly on the bed. That's what her claim was. And they're like, okay, when was this? I don't know. Where was this? I don't know. Rape victims sustain a lot of imagery. Excuse me. I suppressed that shit too. Not going to lie. I hid that shit away deep, dark in my soul for almost 12 years, and I didn't think about it. But the moment that it came back, it was like absolutely clear as a bell. Every single nuance, every single situation, and any rape victim or abuse victim will tell you, once you have the moment of clarity, you can't forget. It's in your head exactly the way it happened. I don't believe her. I think she's full of shit. I believe she's a liar. She's just like Blasey fucking Ford. And she's just like the ones that are going against Joe Biden too, because I don't believe those fucking people. How come everyone's a fucking rapist? Every major politician in the last 30 fucking years is a rapist. How? They're either racist or they're a rapist. Now, Joe Biden and his daughter, it's weird. He fucking is weird. He smells hair. He does all this shit. But people have accused him of what they're accusing Trump of, and I don't buy the stories. I've looked into the stories. They're just like the Blasey Ford and the Jean Carroll stories. The rest of it, I don't know. But it just baffles me.
It was weird that when he announced that he was going to run for his presidency, right? And so we're talking 2016. When was this?
2015.
2015 that he announced he was going to run.
Yep.
Right. Had a few people come forward with, hey, grab by the pussy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Move forward. Wins the presidency. More people come out. This lady, this is the first we've ever heard of her. Why now? Why not before? And so the entire prospect, her entire story is dubious at best.
But see, the thing is that Joe Biden's not accused of rape. He is accused of inappropriate touching or brushing up against somebody or making them feel weird or getting a weird feeling or unwanted kisses. Okay. There's no doubt he's a fucking creeper. He's that creepy uncle who touches. But there is no accusation of rape, just like there's no accusation of rape. But once again, for Trump, but what they've done is that they've changed and altered the facts. You have to suspend disbelief. Remember, they've said, oh, well, this is called rape now. Just like the infrastructure bill is supposed to lower infrastructure, and it did no such thing.
Oh, inflation.
The Inflation Reduction Act did no such thing. Just like the don't say gay bill never said gay or lesbian in the entire fucking bill. But they say it says don't say gay. Just like the veteran, you're cutting 25% of the veteran budget, even though they're not doing that. They're just not allowing an increase till 2030, which is going to make it $500 billion. They lie. But if you're going to go ahead and sit here and defend Donald Trump, you got to defend Biden too. You have to. Because the accusations are nothing, and they all came up during his run. They all came up in 2020 and 2021. It's bullshit. And it pisses me off that they can ruin somebody's credibility. And if you don't think that both parties do this, you're not paying attention.
Man.
Go ahead, Amy.
Well, I have a lot of questions. I would love to sit down with this woman and ask her actual real questions, because anyone who's been raped, I'm sorry, you don't have a problem using the word. Like, it's a horrible, violent attack on you, and it is what it is. And the media has a horrible problem with the word now. Like, you're not allowed to say it on YouTube, you're not allowed to say it, it's like you can't use the word. And sorry, but women are being erased enough. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men. Of course it does. But women are victimized way more than men. At least it's reported anyway. And it's absolutely the most violent, horrifying, terrifying thing women go through. And I think there's a lot of women who go through it. And my heart breaks for every woman who has had to live through this. And, I'm one of them. I remember the day. I remember every single detail. I can tell you freaking every single second today. And that was 20 some years ago for me, but I can tell 20 years ago. So I can tell you every single second of me fighting that horrible part of my life. And it's hard to imagine a woman standing up and saying, well, this happened. I don't remember the details and I don't like to use that word. And well, then what the fuck are you saying? Excuse my language.
That's right.
But
yeah,
don't take something away from, I'm not saying it didn't happen to her. I'm not saying she didn't feel victimized in some way, but don't call something that you felt bad about doing or that you felt victimized over or you felt pressured into doing, call it for that. I felt pressured. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I had to do this. I understand that too. But you can't say, I don't know. I just have a lot of questions. That's all. I have so many questions. It's very.
Well, so do I. So do I. I think most victims of sexual assault will tell you that they don't have many issues with remembering everything. And, Blasey Ford saying, oh, well, it's sporadic and it's not clear. No. Then how do you know anything? Because I will say this and mock me. No, don't mock me. Here's the thing. Is that as tragic and as horrible as it was to the victim, you also understand the weight and the severity of what you're about to accuse another human being of. So you question everything and you make sure that you have every detail and nuance, I's and T's crossed, because that was the one thing I did not want to lay this at the doorstep of the two people who did it to me, because I didn't want to be wrong. So before I said anything, it took me years to really come out with it completely, because I was terrified to put somebody through that. A true victim questions their victimhood. Yeah. And she doesn't question it at all. She's got, oh, well, it's a fight. I want to call it's a fucking game to her. She's trying to sound heroic. Oh, it's a fight. It's not a fight. You didn't get in a fight. And if you got in a fight, that's not rape. You got raped or you didn't. There is no fucking in between. And that's why she is going to lose. Now, everyone's saying the judge is biased. The prosecution is completely out to get Trump. Whatever. Here's what it comes down to. You have no evidence. You don't have a rape kit. You don't have any DNA. It's his, he said, she said. You don't have any witnesses to it. You don't have any sound to it. You have nothing. And Donald Trump tried to give his DNA at the end. Of course, he held on to it for a long. He didn't want anything planted. He didn't want to give it to him a year ago during discovery. Fuck you. Go get a warrant, go prove it right, and put me my feet to the flames. I'm not going to help you. No defense attorney is ever going to willingly give you anything until they have to. I know that because I just went through court. And my lawyer's like, fuck that. We're not giving them anything until they get a warrant. So Donald Trump finally at the end said, I'll give it to you. And they're like, no, we don't want it now. Too late. Well, then you don't have shit.
Right.
You don't have shit. So it's not about defending Trump.
That's the point. No, it's not about defending Trump. You don't have to defend somebody, even if you don't like the guy. You could hate him, and that's fine, right? But when something like this, when a situation like this comes up, where somebody 25 years after the fact, with no filed police report, with just he said, she said type evidence, when something like that gets thrown forward, you have every bone in your body should say, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right here. And no offense, but it's innocent until proven guilty in this country. Doesn't matter if I hate the guy or not.
Yep. Dorita says, no, they don't. No, they do not. You are terrified and scared to death because you don't know whether you want to live or die after that person does it. I didn't say that. So Dorita, I don't know if you're talking to me or not, but
there's been a lot of chat about.
Yeah. I'm just going to address it because I'm assuming it's to me, but I didn't deny the victim's fear. That's not what I said. I said, even when you're a victim, you want to ensure that everything that you felt happened is accurate. Okay. Yeah. Especially someone who was not raped like she said she was. She went into a dressing room willingly with another man in a lingerie store. What the fuck do you think's going to happen? I'm sorry, but I don't care how dense you are. I'm not blaming her if it happened. I'm just telling you, 3 minutes. Right. Trump is 6'6". I mean, dude, the guy's 240 in a dressing. Come on.
Where are the people who work there? Because I've been to lingerie stores. They don't leave you alone. Every 2 seconds, you need a different size. Can I help you? I mean, like, they're always trying to help you. Like, I've never, like, you might as well just stand naked in front of the store when you're trying to get a new bra. It's horrible.
We've been to Victoria's Secret before, and
this is a high-end store, by the way.
Yeah, Victoria's Secret.
This is $700-800 for fucking underwear and a negligee.
And I went to try them on, and I was like, "Can he come with me?" They wouldn't even let him go near the dressing rooms. He couldn't even get back there. So
it's not just that. It's just here. The last thing I will tell you, and this is all I'll say. She also said she had her head banged against the wall a couple times, 2 or 3 times. If I was the prosecution, I would say, "Did you have a concussion?"
Yeah.
Well, no. How do you know? Well, here are the symptoms of concussions. You ready? Blurred vision, swelling of the brain, disorientation, memory loss, vision impairment, balance, loss of memory, loss of inner ear imbalance. So you're telling me that you were slammed against 3 times where it hurt your head, and you don't know if you had a concussion or not because you didn't go to the doctor? Do you think maybe you're not remembering correctly because you had a concussion supposedly that from this happened? No, I didn't have a concussion. Well, how do you know that? If I was the prosecution, I'd just fucking rip this apart. I would rip it apart. She weighs $120. Donald Trump could have thrown her over his shoulder and carried her out to his limo, and nothing would have happened. The point is when you ran out there, where were your clothes? Were you naked? Did you both get dressed afterwards? Because did you run out naked? Because you said you were trying on lingerie. So did you just run in underwear and a bra? How did you get dressed? Why did you get dressed? Why did you stay there?
If she was fighting, she certainly wouldn't take the time to tuck everything in and clasp up the bra and all of that stuff. She would have just gone running out saying, "Hey, this just happened."
Yeah, I agree.
That's a fight.
Yeah.
I'm just
saying.
saying.
Someone would have noticed, like, "Hey, you look. Is everything okay, ma'am?" Like.
Right.
I heard a commotion. Did you fall
on the wall?
Right.
Yeah.
Or, someone would have heard Trump be like, "You're fired," or something. Right. You're a big dude. Look at me. I'm huge. Store. I'm fucking huge. Say it. Who's huge? Something.
You're fired.
To Amy's point, somebody in that store would have overheard the commotion and said, "What the fucky wucky? What are we doing?"
I'm not making fun of rape, okay? No. It's a serious thing. I do this with everything, okay? Is that if I look at it and I'm like, no, I'm gonna make fun of you a little bit, and I'm sorry, the very least, your judgment is opportune because you talked about it the first time in 2015 when he mentioned he was running, and then you mention it again right before he's running again. Do you think that that's a coincidence on a long enough timeline, on those specific dates, on those specific time? What are the fucking odds that you would pick the 2 times he announces he's running and he's running again out of a 23, 24 year period of time? The chances are about 0. 1 time would be a big enough coincidence. Twice? Come on. And when your book's coming out and that you're writing a book about it before a case?
Yeah. The whole
How
thing.
can you write a book about it before the case is even fucking ran?
That's not allowed, is it? I mean, I feel like that's not.
Sure it is.
I thought they have like gag orders, and I don't know. I can't say anything about my freaking trial.
Completely different, right? This is a civil case. It's not criminal.
But it's I just feel like there's, like I said, I have so many questions. I'm sure she probably felt violated in some manner or had regret, which, you know, people do that all the time. Like they blame, you know, victim blame the rape victim, and they do have, I mean, yes, everyone who's been through a trauma, rape or not, like you're like, man, I had an accident. Like, what could I have done differently? Did I, you know, everyone always thinks about these things. What if? But I just have so many questions for this woman. It doesn't add up to me, and I don't want to diminish if she did go through a trauma or something happened. I'm not trying to diminish that, but it doesn't sound. Something's wrong. Something's not accurate. Nothing's adding up to me.
You know what I would do to
Another woman
her?
in that store would have been like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Like, did you fall? Are you sick? Can I call somebody?" Like, some other woman would have stepped up and said, "Oh my gosh, what's going on? Are you okay? What happened?"
Right. And it's just, I would want her to get specific. I'd be like, okay, so how did it happen? What happened? Okay, where did he grab you? Where did he touch you? If I was the prosecution and she's like, I'm not comfortable talking about this, and say, then fucking I'm asking for a mistrial. What do you mean you're not comfortable talking about this? Of course you're not comfortable, but you want to go ahead and destroy this man's character. You better get specific. Where did he put his fingers? Which hand? What were you wearing at the time?
She's
How did you
going
get
on
dressed?
TV talking about it. How is she not comfortable?
I would ask her every question in the book and try to get her. But the CNN interview, they're saying it's inadmissible. It's bullshit. All right, last video, and then we're going to cut bait because I want to go. This is a protest in regards to global warming. Where do these fucking people come from? I mean, this is really hard for me to. This is really hard for me to understand. These are the people.
How dare you?
These are the people who have been propagating and saying that the NEA is the most important thing. The Institute of Entertainment and Arts is to protect. And every single year we give money to the NEA. And yes, it is an infinitesimal amount. It's the same as PBS. It's a small portion of the budget, but they always go to these art museums and fucking destroy. They threw shit at the yogurt at the Mona Lisa last week. I mean, they do shit that's horrible. So here it is. Here's your protest. And if I was, listen, I'm not kidding. I swear to God, I would do this. If I was overseas at this place, if she did this and she sat on the floor, I would whip out my dick and I'd piss on her. I'd fucking piss on her. I would. I'd walk up to her.
That's hard.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Same people, like if I was driving to work and these people were in the freeway and they were sitting there and they wouldn't move, I just whip it out and just start peeing. They'd fucking move then. Get out of the road. That's my form of peaceful protest, is pissing on you. Get out of the road. Stop ruining and defacing art, for God's sakes. It's in glass for a reason, you freaking Here, watch this.
Are you gonna call that I have call now? I'm sorry.
9.
Aw, look at them saving the world.
And look at her. She's going. Okay, hold on. Listen to this.
Hello, friends. My name's Joanna. I'm a mom from Brooklyn. I I'm here today, and I'm here today in DC. I'm in a place that I respect, that I consider to be the highest element of human expression. Human expression.
Swear to God, zips, just piss right on them.
Yeah, you highly respect that place, huh?
I'm just telling you, a little bit of pee does the body good, man.
I mean, what does this accomplish by ruining art and ruining public place? What does this accomplish?
I don't know. We're gonna find out. Let's
Notoriety.
Let's listen to Rhonda.
Beautiful, and we're destroying it with climate change. We need our leaders to take serious action to tell us the truth about what is happening with the climate. We need them to stop authorizing new drilling.
For our children, we are worried, like most of Americans, about climate.
You're gonna go to prison. You should be worried that your children, what they're gonna eat tonight, when you're fucking, getting railed by a guy.
Did they drive
Do it
a
again.
car to this museum? Did they wash their clothes with laundry detergent? Where did their food come from? Like, I have questions for these losers too.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure they're not so like. Come on, get off your freaking high horse.
Yeah, it's a little. I'm trying to think of the voice you just did.
Sound like Kermit the Frog.
No. There's another one. It was in a show that somebody did that voice. I'll think of it. Hold on, let's finish it.
And about biodiversity crisis. And we need our leaders to step up, put their differences aside, and simply be responsible. We are adults. We should be at home working. I have a job that
It's funny that he's taking responsibility while he's on the floor, sitting in the paint that he just smeared all over that damn thing.
I
Let's
think
talk
he's
about
gonna enjoy
responsibility.
prison.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody's gonna knock
Totally.
his teeth out and pass it around.
health and safety, but I can't do my job unless I have a government that does their job of looking out for the health and safety of our children.
Do you know what? He wouldn't even let her talk. Talk about a sexist dick. Like, she was doing just fine. She was getting her crazy on. And he's like, shut up, bitch. And let me go ahead and talk. And now he just takes over the entire conversation. And she's just sitting there with red all over her hands. Looks like she just basically had a real bad day. And, and he just takes over the entire conversation, man. Right. It's just like, what? Hands up, don't shoot. We're mixing metaphors here. I thought this was about climate change. And look at this. Hold on a second. You guys are fucking art fans. Look at that tree. Look at that house. What is that? A wave coming and hitting the house? These guys are like one fucking step away from cutting their ears off and mailing it to their lover. I mean, they're like fucking Van Gogh.
I didn't realize they were making pictures. But what was?
Look at the quality of that tree. Hold on a second, Amy.
The smile.
That's some serious Bob Ross shit right there.
Fucking serious. I'm making a happy little tree. Happy little tree right here. Just right here. Just a little sunshine. Little bit of magic. I'm gonna make a little magic with my tree. All right, Amy, go ahead.
No, do we know the artwork that they defame, whatever you call it? I don't know. Do we know what it is?
I don't know. I'm sure it was a transitioning little girl ballerina into a boy or some shit. This isn't art.
Everything about these people, and not to be nice, but to rip them apart, because seriously, his glasses, were they hand forged? Were they made in a factory? Were they do you know what I mean? I'm so tired of this BS. I'm so sick of it. Sit down.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Shut up.
Let's finish the rest.
This is all of our children, folks, especially the global south, who are all living at the expense of.
The most vulnerable, and that's why we decided to come visit this beautiful, beloved child that the world knows. She has sisters all over the world, made in their fashion, but this is the original vision of the
Look at him nodding in approval.
imperfect, like we all are imperfect.
Yeah.
But she's strong, and she is not resigned to destruction.
Why don't
Did you
I
see it?
ever
Did you
get-
see him just drag this guy? This guy's like, I'm gonna fucking bounce this guy out of my museum. Listen, what?
They're both going to the women's museum, or women's prison rather.
Right.
I don't know. No shit, sir. What's your name? Joe. Yeah. What's your name? Josephine.
Juliet in here, bitch.
Dude, what are you trying to? What are you trying to? You know what? People are looking at this. Even liberals are like, these people are fucking crazy, right?
Yeah.
This isn't how you protest. Nobody's listening to what you're saying because you're nuts. You're just nuts. And this is, I read an interesting book, and you guys should read it. It's called Replay by Ken Grimwood. And it's probably one of the most fantastic literary works that nobody knows about. I mean, it's on par with Clancy, Silva, Flynn. I mean, it's
a very good book.
It's a great book. And essentially, I'll give you the rundown. This guy is like 43 years old. It's October 26th at like 3:33 p.m. Don't fucking correct me, Liv. She's like, nope, it's October 23rd. And it's 3:32 p.m.
I have no idea.
Anyway, so he looks at his clock and a paperweight, and all of a sudden, boom, he flops over and dead. And he dies. And he wakes up, and he's like 19 years old, and he's in college. And, the reason he knows something's wrong is because he woke up with morning wood, and he's like, holy shit, I haven't done this in, 30 years. Some of us, Leroy, I'm sorry. So he it's not personal, but don't, why do you always look so offended? So do you have a background for that? And maybe you could find one. So, at that point, he's like, holy shit, I'm 19 years old. I'm in my college dorm room, and I remember everything for the next 35 years. I remember it all. So he goes to his buddy who he knows who has a car, who's in college. He's a senior, and he's like, he's the only one he knows with money. He goes, dude, he's like, I need you to go and clear your bank account out, and we're going to sell your car. And he's like, you're fucking insane. He goes, no, I'm not. We're going to go do this, and I need you to help. I'm going to make you richer than you've ever known in your life. And he's like, whatever, you're insane. And he winds up convincing him. And he says, we're going to go bet on the Brooklyn Dodgers New York Yankees game, where the Brooklyn Dodgers swept the Yankees, and the odds were like 1.5 million to 1. And he goes and puts $1,000 on this, and he's worth $100 million. And then he invests in Apple stock. And then he does this. And then 43 years old, October 23rd, 3:33 p.m., he's somewhere else and poof, he fucking dies, heart attack. The next life, he decides to become a painter. Next life, he creates Star Wars and Cocoon and turns it into his own movie and becomes a movie producer and all this stuff. And he just keeps reliving his life. But each time he wakes up, he's a little older each time.
Oh.
It's called Replay. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because at one point, he decides to start being a do-gooder, right? And he goes and he writes a letter that says, I'm Lee Harvey Oswald, and I'm going to kill the president on November 22nd, 1963 at 12:01 p.m. at Dealey Plaza in Dallas. And so he writes this letter, sends it to the FBI, and then he's outside of Oswald's house, and the FBI goes in there and arrests Oswald, and they grab him, and he's like, I saved Kennedy. And then on December 22nd, 1963 at 12:01 p.m., somebody else named Ferdinand Josiah, whatever, shoots Kennedy. So then he wakes up again and he says, okay, this time I'm going into the FBI. I'm going to tell him what's happening to me. And he walks in and he's like, and I'm going to make these predictions, blah, blah. Well, they get him as a Russian spy, and they put him in a fucking loony bar and give him shock treatments and literally put him through hell for most of his life. And the reason I'm telling you this is because that's what these people are. They could have the greatest information in the world, the greatest intelligence. They'd be able to predict the future, how many inches the water's going to rise, what day and what time. And because they are fucking crazy, nobody will believe them.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of that book, that how you present yourself and how you portray yourself is just as important as the information you're trying to convey. And their idea was, let's go get some red paint and black paint, and let's talk like we're literally from 1970 and we're a bunch of hippies to convey about global warming, and no one's going to believe me. Amy, you got a minute, Leroy a minute, Olivia a minute. Leroy, you start.
Well, first of all, that dude did not look like he was well prepared. I mean, his man bun was unkempt, and I'm confident that even now, as we speak, that he's meeting his new cellmates, and they're all very, very happy. So, what did we talk about tonight? We talked about a bunch of things. We talked about the border crisis. We talked about Trump and whether or not the rape was real. We talked about. Did we ever get around to the writer's strike? I think we skipped over that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Let's do it quick.
All right. Yeah.
Here's what it is. All the late night shows don't have any writers anymore, and those shills can't write their own stuff, so they're basically they're quitting.
Yeah.
How
That's
fucking
rough.
pathetic. Can you imagine if we're like, you know what? There's a writer strike. Sorry guys, we can't make a show. Write your own damn show. You guys are supposed to be
You used to be on SNL, write your own shit.
yeah, you're supposed to be one of the strongest
Right.
minds in the world. Why can't you? I mean, you're Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, you're so in the know. I mean, you can't even beat Ted Cruz at basketball. Did you guys ever see? Okay, you looked at. I'm going
No,
to
I
look that
didn't
up so
see
you guys
that.
can.
I
Oh,
didn't
holy
see
shit!
that, but I would
I'm
love
gonna
to
show you
see
the.
it.
I'm showing you the video. You guys talk and finish your minute.
Okay, so what the hell else were we talking about? You know, it just amazes me that each and every segment, that we do, and each one of these stories are all real stories. And when we see these kinds of things, we're able to kind of pick some of this stuff apart and separate the wheat from the chaff and figure out where the leftist values are and where the more independent, where a libertarian might look at this and go, okay, this I can get behind. And so when we're looking at like the border crisis, and we have to realize that fentanyl is a very real thing, and the amount of crime that is happening along those borders, and the White House just no comment, just plaster over it as best you can, Karine Jean-Pierre, and we'll deal with it, in the next 4 or 5 years. That's the kind of thing that drives us nuts, because it's exactly what Matt was describing with the 1984 references. It's, you can see what's happening right in front of your own eyes, and then they are telling you, no, that's not really what's happening. What's happening is these people are here they're fighting for a better life. These people are just, these are our family. This is our brethren, and completely just mislead you in any direction they can in order to score political points. It drives me nuts. That was my minute.
Good enough. Amy's.
I'm going to keep mine short. I just feel like, I don't know if it's just my age. I don't feel like I'm that old, but I feel like I've
You're
gone
not.
through enough in life that I know I still feel pretty young, but I feel like I've lived enough life now that I can give a valid opinion and like actually imply some or apply some whatever. I don't know. I'm so bad with words. Give wisdom out to other people, not a ton, but a little bit. And I have no tolerance anymore. Like I literally am like, I'm done. I just feel like I've hit a wall. I can't be empathetic as like I used to be. I'm like, sorry about your luck. Stop being a dick. I don't know. I'm tired of it all. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of this BS. That's it.
Well,
That's my
if
minute.
you ever want to convey yourself and words don't work, you could always get some black and red paint, and you and Jason
Right.
could go down to a local museum. And here's Jimmy Kimmel, my final minute, and then I'm going to give it to Olivia. Jimmy Kimmel Ted Cruz spanking the living shit out of this man show, douchebag, beta, freaking
No, and I really
feminine.
liked the Man Show too. I did.
Screw Jimmy
How
Kimmel.
did they ever get along? I mean,
Well, I don't know. Corolla's one of Jimmy Kimmel's a freaking yutz. Here he is. Takes him to the outside of the paint. Mid-range jumper for two. With a check and a three-point shot. Nothing but net. Kimmel doesn't have an answer. To the hole. Nice little layup and a reverse.
Basketball in college.
Ted Cruz with a hook shot that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would be jealous of.
What was the score?
I'll tell you in a minute.
What the hell is going through Kimmel's mind right about there?
Girls jumping on trampolines.
Oh, it's 7:10. Is that what I saw?
Yeah.
Was this for money or just...
Look at that shot. I'll tell you in a second, man. We're watching the video.
Jimmy's politics is the exact opposite of his game. So you notice his game, he never went left. In his politics, he always goes left. So, you know, and I think his politics and his basketball game could do a little bit better if he went right and left and had a little bit more balance. Now, I will readily plead to that same fault. I go right, my left hand is barely attached to my body, so I understand that weakness, but I think a little more common ground would be good for all of us.
Oh, nice.
No,
Yeah,
that's not what
that
it was
was
for. This was a homegrown battle on Twitter where Kimmel and Cruz just constantly would just rip each other. And, you know, Jimmy's just like, you know, of course he becomes petty. I'm more of a man than you, you know, whatever. Because Jimmy lost some weight, right? Jimmy was a fat ass most of his life and he was puffy and weak. And then, you know, he goes on some diet and whatever, and he thinks he's physically fit. And so it just went back and forth between him and Cruz that somehow Ted Cruz wasn't a real man. And Ted Cruz was like, well, I'll challenge you to a game of basketball and we'll do it for charity. And they went and had a second game too. And it was a lot closer than the score. I mean, Ted Cruz beat him handily, but you know, Jimmy had some decent plays, but it doesn't matter. What's going on?
Hayden went to the garage.
So anyway, the whole point is, you know, Ted Cruz, how can you lose to Ted Cruz in a game of basketball? Well, Jimmy Kimmel can lose to anyone. So anyway, I just thought it was a good video. Liv, you got 1 minute. Good night. Come on. Are you wearing my CU hat?
I don't know. It was
I
in my
think you
room.
gave it to her.
It was in my room.
I did not give you my hat.
It was in my room.
Hayden,
Yeah.
that's my hat, and
Do
I
you
did
want
not give it to. No, you can wear it right now, but give me. But see you starting in September, and I better get it back by then. You lose my hat, I'll skin you. Olivia, get out, Hayden. Olivia, last minute, go.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I know.
Great, not the best color commentary business, and whatever. Good night, everybody. All right, what does that say,
There are
dude?
sometimes I haven't
2
something to
hours
say, and then
later.
sometimes I don't.
All right, everybody, listen, welcome, and thank you. Go over to the Don't Unfriend Me store, if you would not mind, at thedumbshow.com, and you can get, we've made like quite a few sales since we've been on. I think we've sold like 22 of these things or something. So make
Well, I bought
women,
3.
I know, you did buy 3. Thank you. Make women female again. They're available. I will have a man version. I'm going to buy this and I'm going to wear it. Make women female again. I'm a feminist. I am 100%. Huh?
It's not like a unisex hat because I bought one for Jason. Can he wear it? Like, is
Yeah,
it fine?
it's for everybody. Everybody can wear them. Yeah, they have a fitted a pole thingy in the back. They're just a fitted hat.
Perfect.
Or not
Whatever.
a fitted hat, but yeah, everyone can wear them. They're great. Make
like my
women
other one.
female again. I'm buying mine. And if you want to, go to thedumbshow.com, type MAGA, or go to new releases, and you can pick up the shirt as well. I'm going to be on tomorrow. I don't think Libra and Amy will be on. Libra and Amy, you guys going to be on tomorrow?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I'll
I
be on
can be. Yeah, I don't think I can be on. Sorry.
That's fine. Leroy will be on. Olivia and I will be on. I will have a recorded show in the morning. God bless everybody. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Night, y'all.
Night.
Good night, y'all.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team.
See you guys.
And we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call